The term beauty is defined as a combination of qualities, such as shape, colour, or form, that pleases the aesthetic senses, especially the sight. And no other anime encapsulates this better than Kyoto Animation's Violet Evergarden, which will be part of the subject matter of today's video. So that begs the question, what actually is Violet Evergarden? Directed by Taichi Ishidate and based on the light novel of the same name, Violet Evergarden denotes the story of the emotionally conflicted girl, Violet, as she struggles to adapt to civilization after a tragic time spent in the war. As a result of battle, she's left with no arms and instead prosthetic replacements. But more importantly, she's left with the dying words of her commander saying, "I love you," a phrase that continues to puzzle and haunt Violet throughout the anime. Our protagonist isn't without flaws, however. Being treated as a weapon during her time in the war, she's grown to be robotic and procedural, as her personality reflects the mechanical nature of her arms, and she struggles to comprehend human empathy and feeling. This means we're left with the troubling journey of a girl who tries to open back up to the world and discover what it means to be human, as well as to figure out what love truly means and the forms it can take on and amalgamate into. Conceptually, this is a really unique idea. You don't normally see a lot of anime like this. I'm fine with the occasional action-packed shonen anime per season, or the standard rom-com being tossed around here and there, but this anime is unlike any other. It's unique to its very core, and the message it attempts to relay is beyond beautiful. So why am I talking about Violet Evergarden today? Well, since the world is opening back up again, I finally got the opportunity to watch the Violet Evergarden movie in cinemas. This was the most recent movie that was released, and acting as a final send-off to the entire franchise. And it was an experience, to say the least. Breathtaking doesn't even begin to describe how beautiful this movie is. I honestly never expected to be in need of tissues during a cinema visit, but I guess it's the first time for everything. Now, admittedly, I can't discuss much about the film due to spoiler reasons, but what I can mention is the impactful nature of its ending. I've been on record for saying that the conclusion of an anime is arguably the most important point of the narrative, and this film doesn't skimp on quality in that regard. During its final climactic moments, I was left teary-eyed and feeling sentimental about the entire weight of the journey, as our protagonist finally comes to terms with the very thing that troubled her for so long, figuring out the meaning of love. Stories like this don't come by often, and Violet Evergarden grants something to the table unlike you've ever seen before. And this was an ongoing theme throughout the theatre visit. From the very moment I stepped in that dark room to the moment the film ended, I stared at that black screen in awe as the credits rolled. Something spoke to me. It's almost as if, for those 2 hours, I had forgotten the current affairs of the world, and realized that there was some hidden beauty behind all the layers of ice. And this film surely warmed that all up for me. Kyoto Animation outdid themselves here to a degree I didn't think was possible. Every second of the journey is carefully infused with enough heart and passion that got me feeling things I didn't know I had. To sum it up into a singular phrase, I think the word magical would be fitting here. And I think it goes without saying, but the art direction in animation is simply gorgeous. Every frame is handled with a degree of care and attention that defies anything we've seen in this medium so far. And all the emotional ambience is just amplified by its soft percussion of music and brilliant sound design, which just solidifies this piece as something truly special, a very rare, hidden gem. And that brings me to the true intention behind this video today. Although that was a brief look at Violet Evergarden and specifically the movie that concludes the entire franchise, I also wanted to use this opportunity to pay tribute to the studio that made this all happen, Kyoto Animation. Now, if you've heard anything about this studio, it probably boils down to two things. Firstly, this studio has made a stupid amount of good shows, Like, seriously, Clannad, K-On!, Nichijou, Hyoka, Dragon Maid, Haruhi, Silent Voice, the list is genuinely endless. The studio is recognized for raising the bar of quality to a degree that few studios could only wish to achieve. They've constantly produced anime of stunning visuals and warm music that has resonated with our soul to a degree that's indescribable in words. I like to relate the studio as having a sort of magic to them. Thinking about it now, I'm not quite sure how to transcribe it into words, but no other anime studio has the same feeling as a project done by Kyoto Animation. There's something so warm and graceful about each and every one of their works, and it's simply incredible. On the other hand, there might be a different reason that you know the studio by name. July 18th, 2019. 36 dead, 34 injured, thousands affected worldwide. The Kyoto Animation arson incident was beyond a tragedy. This world is so fickle, things can take a turn that no one could possibly anticipate, and it'll leave an everlasting mark. For the sake of keeping things positive here, I really feel uncomfortable going into the details of the attack, but it's all freely available online for those curious. Yes, this attack meant that most of the equipment and work was completely lost, delaying a number of projects significantly and causing a huge financial loss for the company also. To this day, it still haunts me. It's just so hard to engross yourself in one of their works without realizing that the things I'm seeing are done by people who probably aren't even alive anymore. And that's just so hard to stomach. But despite all of this, the community has never been stronger since. The love shown and contributions that followed really showed how united the anime community can be at times. And I'm sure all our thoughts and prayers are with those affected by the attack. As a community, we raised over 3.3 billion yen, which equates to $30 million. It's incredible. It goes to show that the anime community isn't all that bad. We have our differences and our inflated egos, but just for a brief time frame, we can drop all of those attitudes and truly unite together as a collective to contribute to something for the greater good. Because as Kyoto Animation poured their love into their works, so will we. And to reciprocate that love, it's only plausible that we express our gratitude for this magical studio. Whether it's about a girl who struggles to vocalize a single word, a comedy series that gives you moments of absolute joy, or pieces that brought you to tears, Kyoto Animation will forever be special in our hearts. And their recovery has been absolutely phenomenal. So, as one final remark, on behalf of everyone here, I'd like to say one massive thank you. Thank you, Kyoto Animation, for changing anime forever. We can't wait to see what you do next.